There are some communities in Nebraska which are out of touch with the trends of this modern society, this modern world. And these particular communities have to be dragged, even if it's kicking and screaming, into the 20th century. And with
Ernie and I came in both at the same time, amidst fears and trepidations from you name it. Both came in. I remember that first day they wouldn't allow me in because I didn't have a pass and I didn't look old enough. And they were convinced I was a student rabble-rouser, and they wouldn't let Ernie in because he had a T-shirt on or something, and we both got in.
To say the least, he was not your typical senator. To this day, he refuses to adhere to the unwritten dress code and wear a suit. And because of his reputation, there were concerns about security.
And when I came down there, they were so terrified of me that they drilled holes in that beautiful wood on the ceiling of the chamber and installed these television cameras so they could keep an eye on me, and brought state troopers into the chamber because they thought I came down here to do physical battle.
They had cops and everything else posted for security because of Ernie and whatever.
In the first months of the session, Chambers and DeCamp visited each other's districts. They realized almost immediately that the problems facing rural and urban communities were not that different.
If you don't have jobs, if you don't have employment, if you don't have the flow of funds, you got problems, whether you're living in the ghetto or whether you're living in outstate Nebraska. And if we function as a team working on some of these problems together, we won't agree all the time, but we'll agree one hell of a lot of the time and learn a lot about each other. We can make some difference. And that was kind of the policy Ernie and I followed, as I say. And I think we made a lot of change, a lot of difference. And sometimes we disagree, and when we disagreed, they were epic battles.
Now realize that this bill was introduced by Senator Chambers, whose expertise in rural Nebraska, I would guess, is probably less than some of the other senators in this room. Senator Chambers has stated on more than one occasion, in fact, I've heard him state it on this floor, that until you've walked a mile in his shoes, you really don't know what it's like, for instance, to live in the ghetto or suffer racial prejudice and this type of thing. Well, I would suggest that until Senator Chambers has walked a mile in the shoes of our rural senators and has some knowledge of what the climate and walking conditions are like, that he not try to prescribe the size of shoe we should wear and how to walk. And with that request, I would say we should kill this bill and send it to the happy hunting ground of bills that are before their time or don't fit the needs of the people.
Senator Chambers.
Mr. Speaker and members of the legislature, it always gives me great pleasure to do battle with my friend Senator DeCamp. Although I generally feel like a bully, it's not right to put a heavyweight against a lightweight. But we do have certain understandings between ourselves, so I'm not going to treat
The only thing comparable I found to having a great battle with Ernie was war in Vietnam. I enjoyed battles with Ernie probably more than anything, with certain limited exceptions, in life.
I don't think anything I say could change anybody's mind. I'm aware that once the champion of rural Nebraska and the agricultural interests of the state gets on his white horse with his long joust and goes after the windmills, a barber from Omaha, Nebraska doesn't have much chance.